Let me come take this with what?
Don't expect anything less than the #1 rated Caribbean show. Caribbean vibration. Caribbean vibration. Caribbean vibration. Caribbean vibration.
You're watching Caribbean Vibrations, and you know how important it is to be a healthy person. You saw some of the stuff we did at the Canadian Blood Services Association, but now, you know what? Something that's actually very prevalent in African Caribbean society is sickle cell. And there isn't enough attention brought to it, and there's a lot of people who are doing things behind the scenes. One of those people is Miss Lily Johnson, who started the Sickle Cell Association of Ontario. So how are you doing today?
I'm fine, and even if you would say finer, because this is a great day for sickle cell,
So you,
that Humber College is taking on to teach the undergraduate nurses about sickle cell.
so you said you started the association a little while ago. Why did you start the association?
Well, I'm a community health nurse, and in my tour, I found a lot of people with sickle cell dying, and neither doctors nor nurses knew what it was. And with the support and encouragement from my supervisor, at that time I was at the Ministry of Health as the consultant for maternal and child health throughout Ontario. And he said, "You like to be out there, why don't you start this thing?" So I sat down and I wrote and I wrote, and I connected with other people outside of Toronto, UK, US, and most of all, Graham Sargent in Jamaica. And we did get it going. We had our, what you must say, our strategic plan. It was a 5-year one at that time, and we took it to Romain Pitt, who is now, he was a lawyer then, and he's now a judge, and Edward Searles, who is now deceased, to make sure that everything was done in a legal fashion. Because for me, if I'm going to do this for my people, it must be well done.
So we're here today at the Sickle Cell Association Family Day at Humber College. So Dean, tell us why you guys actually did this today.
You know, I think it was an idea that came to life from one of my dearest and longtime colleagues, Tiny Beckles. And Tiny came to me and said, you know, we have a population and we have an opportunity here to work with a group like the Sickle Cell Association of Ontario and illuminate the needs of the health challenges of patients with sickle cell anemia. And you know what? It really resonated with me because when I was a practicing nurse, I cared for many people with sickle cell anemia. And there were times where on reflection, I'm not convinced that they had the best care. And so that, coupled with Tiny being very persuasive, led me to exploring it further. And then, of course, I'm sure you can appreciate, once you get knowledge like that and you see the passion that comes out from people that are touched by the outcomes or the challenges associated with sickle cell anemia, you can't turn your back, and it just becomes something that you have to do.
Now, since you are a nurse, a lot of people don't know, is there a certain cause of sickle cell anemia that they've been able to find now?
Yeah, you know, cause is an interesting word. You know what, it is a genetic disease. Unfortunately, it is something that comes to be from genetics. So again, which is really important for you to bring up, because one of the misconceptions is that it is something that is acquired unnecessarily, or that you sort of just get one day. It's absolutely not the case, which is, again, really important for us to have conferences like this to disseminate some of that information so that we're not left with the improper diagnosis and stigmatism of people with sickle cell anemia. There's not ways to cure sickle cell. There certainly is ways to control the symptoms. The other part of your question, is there any way to prevent it? And genetic counseling has come a long way. We do screening now. We give people in Ontario and around the world an option to know what sort of statistics they're faced with. So if you marry somebody who has sickle cell is a sickle cell carrier, and you're a sickle cell carrier, you have a 25% chance of having a child with sickle cell anemia. Well, at least you know that, and you can make decisions informed by that data. 25, 50, 75 years ago, we didn't have that, and it was a roll the dice thing. So that's what we can do. That's what we've contributed. We've contributed to the body of growing science that gives people information on how they're going to have sickle cell children or not.
Well, the reason why we did this was that it was something that we have to take out into the public. The public needs to be aware, and I think it's something that a school needs to advocate for, and we want it to be in part of the curriculum. So hence why we decided to come together, not myself, but Tiny Beckles, who is a board member of the Sickle Cell Association and also a part-time faculty at the college, collaborated with our dean and made the magic happen.
Oh, wow, magic. I like that. Now, are you currently a student here? Are you studying nursing, or what's your involvement?
Well, my involvement is I'm one of the lead coordinators for this conference. I'm also a part-time faculty here, program advisor for the part-time practical nursing program. So I teach, so I'm all over the place. So I was lucky to be designated to do the lead for the organization of this lovely conference, and we're very excited about it because we're breaking ground and we're getting this disease out into the forefront, and it's something that has never happened. I think this is just groundbreaking. There's no other university or college out there doing such a conference or getting this information out to our academics and to our students, and our objective is that we will empower our students and empower our academics to have this knowledge that they're able to give the right care to the sickle cell client, and for those that are in the community, know how to approach the client that may be affected by this disease.
The last question I have to ask you is, you talked about dissemination. What are some of the myths that people have about sickle cell? Because I know a little bit about it, and I know it affects the African Caribbean community, but there are some of the myths you guys could, not all of them, but a couple things you could talk about and dispel?
Well, I know it predominantly affects the African Caribbean community, but it goes beyond that. It can affect the Mediterranean community, the Puerto Rican community. So it's labeled as a black disease, and we want to make it known that it's not a black disease. It is a community disease, and it's not reflective of your skin color. So that's the most important thing, because I think that is one of the biggest misconceptions about this disease.
I hope you enjoyed those interviews. We're here at the Sickle Cell Family Conference. If you want more information, you can go to the website, sicklecellassociation.org. If you want to know your sickle cell status, you can go to the Taibo Community Health Center located here at Humber College.